Let's get into the big pay-per-view here. We got a huge matchup. It's UFC 286 in London.
The rematch of the head kick heard round the world.
Headshot. Pound for pound. Dead.
Yeah, Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman.
Shock to the world.
Rematch.
I was riding back in the Uber from Red Rocks when this happened, and I remember seeing it, and I'm like, holy shit, that shocked me, man. Nobody expected it. Nobody.
No, especially Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, I mean, so if anybody watched that fight, he won the first. Leon Edwards won the first round. And just a little background real quick. Leon Edwards is a guy that was born in Jamaica, born in the slums of Jamaica. His family moved to Birmingham, England, where he was still in the streets. He had to fight to try to get respect. So he knows a lot about just scrapping, street fighting, and just that grassroots trying to get respect from, your peers whenever, things are tough, like kind of just living in tough times. And that's what I give him a lot of respect for, is because he's kind of been through, the scrum of it. And then you look at a guy like Kamaru Usman, who's from Africa. He moved here to America, now fights out of Denver, Colorado. So I have kind of a home field or homer kind of
homer vibe. Yeah,
partial to him. And in that last fight, Leon Edwards won the first round. He took Usman down for the first time in his career, and then the rest of the fight, it was all Usman. I mean, Usman came through there and just dominated it, boxing, wrestling, whatever it might be. And then before that fifth round, Leon Edwards looked defeated. He looked like, okay, I'm going to lose by decision. And his corner gave a speech to him that went viral. Straight up. And what's ironic is Leon,
one of the ones that gives you goosebumps.
Yeah, his nickname is Rocky. And he got a Rocky speech there in the corner where his corner told him, you got to pull this out of the fire. You got to do something here. And he did. And Leon Edwards, right there at the beginning of the fifth round, kind of faked a left hook and then threw a head kick that knocked Usman down.
Yeah,
and he was
Usman ducked right into it, and boom!
He did. And I mean, everybody was shocked. It was just something that, we never expected because of complete domination, because you would think that Usman would kind of just play it safe, but he went in there. And I think maybe, and he's talked about it, he just kind of didn't see it coming. And it was a perfect kick, too, and you got to give it to Leon for that. But as far as the preview for this fight, this is in London. So Edwards does have the home field advantage in it. And London's, if nobody's seen any of the fights in London, that crowd is rowdy.
Yeah.
When Meatball Molly's
they
fought
went
there.
crazy.
Michael Bisping. There's been a ton of great fighters that have come out of England. And so they have a big fan base there. And so they're going to be going wild for Rocky. So that's in his favor. But Kamaru's trying to get that title back.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the 4 fights before Leon. I mean, Covington, unanimous decision win for Usman. Masvidal, knocked him out in the second round. Burns, knockout, third round. And then Masvidal again, unanimous decision. So, I mean, he was on a winning streak and on a tear. And like you said, he had that fight pretty much wrapped up until that head kick came out of nowhere. So
he was on his way to, I think, tying Anderson Silva for the most welterweight wins, like in winning streak, or maybe it was on some record like pace, and Leon put that to a stop. And I think Kamaru's really going to be wanting that back. I got to mention here, talk about like him fighting out of Denver, Colorado. I'm a huge fan of Trevor Whitman, who trains Justin Gaethje, Rose Namajunas, and Kamaru Usman, 3 of my favorite fighters. They train there out of Wheat Ridge, Colorado. And Trevor Whitman is a guy that really specializes in striking. Kamaru has his own wrestling coach and his own jiu-jitsu coach and stuff like that, but Trevor's like the main coach. And you look at the way Kamaru's striking has improved since bringing on Trevor Whitman, and I think that's when you really saw his game elevate from just a wrestler to an all-around fighter. So, Edwards, I got to say here too, it's tough. I say this all the time. I hope this fighter wins. And I said this last episode, actually, where it's not quite like football, where I like both these guys. I mean, Leon Edwards is a guy that came from the streets, and he opened up a gym where he volunteers and will train anybody that just wants to come out of gang violence. And I think that's awesome. What he does for the youth there in Birmingham, England, and if people don't know, Birmingham isn't quite like London. It's It's kind of the
Yeah.
slums, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where Peaky Blinders was kind of based, you know. It's
Yeah, working class, blue collar people.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm a big fan of him. You know, if he wins, good for him. But because Usman trains here in Denver, Colorado, and trains over to Trevor Moon, I do hope he wins. To give my final pick for it, I do think Kamaru comes away with it.
I do think just with the way the last fight went that Usman's going to do everything he can and not even let this get to the 5th round. So we'll see what happens. It should be a really good fight regardless. I mean,
think so.
You got to love these rematches.
I love it, man. I mean, it's just Leon shocked the world with that head kick, and I think that really has just sat in Usman's head for a long time. And, you know,
Literally.
I was going to say,
in his head.
and metaphorically too. So we'll see how that goes.